Hi, everybody. This is Oscar, your health plan coach, and I've got another session today speaking to Lisa Maracic, and she's actually starting up her bookkeeping business. So if you are in the startup phase and you want to hear a story, you'll want to check this out. And also, if you're a small business owner looking for someone to hire, check out Lisa. She's got some fundamentals she's really excited about. She really wants to explore those with small business. It's coming up next. Welcome, everybody, to another session of Expose Your Worth. Here, I'm Oscar, your health plan coach, and today I'm bringing on another network connection, Lisa Maracic. Lisa is with Green Rose Bookkeeping. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me, Oscar.
You're welcome, Lisa. So right now, you are currently and tell us a little bit about where you are in terms of this. I suppose it's a new venture for you. You're building up your business, but I think I want to know a little bit more about what it is. What is Green Rose Bookkeeping's focus?
Right. So I'm kind of branching out a little bit. I recently got into bookkeeping. I took a course and learned all about it, learned the fundamentals, learned how to run a business, and just a couple of months ago kind of launched my business. Again, it's called Green Rose Bookkeeping, and it is a virtual bookkeeping business. I got my certification with QuickBooks Online. So I'm a certified pro advisor with that. So I run the business myself. I work one-on-one with my clients, and I provide all those basic bookkeeping needs. Bookkeeping is something that's required by the IRS for all small business owners. So keeping track of all your expenses, all your income, and doing the reconciling of your books to make sure there's no mistakes. All of that, it has to be done, but most business owners don't have the time for it, or they simply don't want to do it. And so I come in and take care of that for them. That way they don't have to do it.
So now, do you are you staying away from tax, or you're involving tax in your services?
They do go hand in hand a little bit. So there's no way I can avoid it completely. I do not prepare taxes. So you're going to want to look for either a tax preparer or an accountant or a CPA to do that for you. However, like I said, I can't avoid it completely, right? When you do go to we'll call them your accountant. Again, different terms are used, but they're going to ask you for like a profit and loss statement for the year. And they're going to ask you for all that information that you should have been keeping track of throughout the year for your small business. And that's when you're going to come to me, and I'm going to have all that information set aside for you. If you've been doing your bookkeeping accurately throughout the year, you could just, with a couple of clicks of a button, pull up those profit and loss sheets, pull up your balance sheet. So that's kind of how I help with your taxes, is I keep everything organized and up to date throughout the year. So when tax season comes around, it's a lot easier for you. I'll be your accountant's best friend because everything's sort of ready to go. And whenever I do work with a client, that's something I always ask is, do you have a tax preparer, and can I get their contact info? Because I kind of think of that accountant, that CPA, as sort of a level above me. And if I run into something that's a little more complicated, that you need that higher level of understanding for, that's when you're going to want to go to them and have them help you out.
Sure.
So we definitely have to work together.
No, yeah, I've definitely been familiar, worked a lot with small business, and I think that that tends to be one of those functions you let your relative take over. Maybe it's your spouse, or maybe it's a cousin. Definitely not your kids, but somebody who might have had some background in it and can run some numbers. But I think you provide much more detailed services, probably more specialized services, because I mean, I'm looking at a list of things that you would do, like not only the monthly bookkeeping, but quarterly and financial statement reviews, catch up and clean up. I'm just reading off of your profile here. Something that I think some small business owners kind of take for granted, and maybe they feel like once they've grown their business to a certain size, it's a little bit too much for the spouse or cousin to handle. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So, bookkeeping has changed a lot over the past couple of decades because years ago it really was just writing down the numbers and doing the math. The software does a lot of that now. There's not so much of that just filing the receipts away in the shoebox and things like that. A lot of that's done for you with the software, so it's a lot of understanding the software. That's where having that QuickBooks certification comes into play. But I really liked what you said about the financial statement review. That's where I really try to provide value to my clients. So something that I'm going to provide no matter what is reviewing your financial statements once a month, or once a quarter, maybe if you're a smaller client. And so what I'll do is I'll, at the end of the month, go through everything and I'll review that statement with you and look for trends month to month, look for inconsistencies, look for things that maybe jump out that don't seem quite right. And, this isn't something that's going to happen on day one, but as we build a relationship and I get to know your business, and these are things that the business owner tends to miss because they're running their business. They're not focusing on those little details, but I'm in the books every day. I'm keeping track of everything. So things like that are going to be able to jump out at me. Also looking at your cash flow and seeing where you're spending your money and where your income's coming in. And just knowing things like that are going to help the business owner make decisions that can help them grow their business. If they know, hey, this service is where I'm really making lots of money, and this one I'm hardly making any on.
Sure.
Just being able to see things like that can really help them out.
All right. So you're obviously going to be catering to many small business owners, many types of businesses. Lisa, you are actually on your LinkedIn profile. You actually are also coming in with a background and an interest in the animal care industry. Why did you pick the animal care industry to service?
Um, well, before I was a bookkeeper, I've also been a zookeeper. I do have a passion for working with animals, and I have a lot of experience with that. I actually have a bachelor's degree in zoology. So I do have a lot of background with that. I'm definitely interested in working with all types of small businesses. I, would love to talk to everybody, but
Mhm.
animals hold a special place in my heart. And I'm very familiar with the industry as well. I've worked with vet hospitals before. I've worked in doggy daycares before. So I definitely have a big interest in working with those businesses and helping them out, because I know if I could help out that business owner and save up some time for them, that way they can help the animals out more. And like I said, that's where my passion is. So, and I have a good understanding of that.
Have you seen that personally, like working with any individual owners, in the animal industry, animal care industry? Anything that you've seen them struggle with personally about that you saw, hey, this would be a great fit for me to focus on with bookkeeping?
I mean, the big thing is probably just the time. Um, you know, they just don't have the time to do this. And,
Sure.
I know I said the software does a lot of the work, but, they're not thinking to go in. They have a dog training class to do on a Saturday morning, or, you think of a vet, an emergency comes in and they have to handle that. And that takes priority over, going in and looking at my financial statements and trying to understand them. So it's usually just saving the time for them. So that way they can focus on the animals and I can do all that stuff for them with the books. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your process of becoming a bookkeeper. And I mean, so you did go through some certifications, and I think there's some other people out there that might have been thinking the same thing. How can I start another business in this day and age now? And obviously, virtual bookkeeping is very real. It's a very real profession. But what would you describe the experience of becoming certified to do this as? Was
Well, I'll be honest with you, Oscar. I didn't know much about bookkeeping when I first got started with it, but the internet's an amazing tool. So I did my research and I was looking for something that could start out as a side job and could eventually turn into a full-time career, something that would give me a flexible schedule, And I just started doing my research, and I came across this thing called bookkeeping. I actually have a brother who's an accountant, so I was able to talk to him a little bit and ask him some questions. And I came across an amazing course. It's called Bookkeeper Launch. So if anybody's interested, just Google that. You'll come into it, and they had a 30-day money-back guarantee. So I thought, what do I have to lose, right? I'll give it a shot. And I just loved it. I was so interested in it. I couldn't wait to, get home so I could take the next class. And they really went through everything, not only the fundamentals of bookkeeping and the debits and the credits and all that fun stuff, but also how to actually run a business and work with clients, and also use the software QuickBooks. And kind of tied into that course was also getting the QuickBooks Pro Advisor certification as well. And then the course has its own certification that goes along with it. They give you a fake set of books to work with. So I really like that experience too.
You can mess up the books and get it right, and you wouldn't affect
Yeah.
cash flow. That's good.
Exactly.
Now, you would have a preference of working with QuickBooks. Is there any other software that you've tested or used?
There are other softwares out there. Xero is one of them. QuickBooks has a desktop version as well as online. I do not have a ton of experience with them yet, so I am pretty much sticking with QuickBooks Online for the moment, especially as I'm getting started, but I am considering branching out to the other ones. QuickBooks Online is definitely one of the big ones. And I will just let anybody know, if you don't have any accounting software yet, if maybe you're in that phase of, I have Excel spreadsheets, but I'm looking to move on and get everything organized into an accounting system, that's something I could help you out with as well, and even can provide a discount too.
There you go.
So,
So there you go. I mean, no, it's really important to niche down once you get specialized into something. So it's good that you've already focused on one platform to use. And I mean, obviously QuickBooks and Intuit is such a huge industry provider that you're going to find a lot of people using that or open to use it. So that's great. I'm curious. So now that we kind of know what you do, I want to know kind of why you do it in terms of, now you've already talked about the animal industry, but you must be an avid animal lover in terms of just being able to be passionate about the industry. What else is it that you're passionate about other than bookkeeping now?
It's certainly kept me busy, the bookkeeping. But yeah, as far as my free time, I'm going to take me back to animals again. I actually have 3 dogs, which I'm going to have to give them treats after this. They haven't interrupted me yet. But, they take up a lot of my time, so I do a lot of things with them. I love the outdoors, so camping, hiking, kayaking, and haven't gotten to do a lot of it this past year, but I do love to travel as well. So
Let's hope
also,
that you can get some good weather for that soon coming up. I know we're all hoping to warm up soon.
yes,
So,
definitely.
good. So just to wrap up, I mean, it's obviously a big need. I mean, I've had a soft spot for bookkeepers because I've worked with so many small business that I definitely have seen kind of the impact that probably into some unorganized books, how that can really impact a business, how it can set you back, and you've got to restructure something. So I think it's important to have that. But to summarize, how can people get a hold of you? How can people kind of reach out to you to see if we can take the next step to work with you?
Yeah, there's several ways you can contact me. So probably the easiest thing is just head to my website, www.greenrosebookkeeping.com. And from there, you'll see a lot of the information that I talked about during this interview, as well as several ways to get a hold of me, an email address, phone number. There's even a contact form you could fill out, as well as links to my Facebook page and my LinkedIn page. So lots of different options.
Perfect. Well, Lisa, I appreciate the time you've come onto the show. I hope the audience has been looking forward to getting to know a resource like yours, because that's definitely something that is, I think we'll see is going to have a lot of impact in the industry. So I appreciate you coming to the show.
Great. It was great to be here. Thank you so much, Oscar.